Hello, everyone. My name is Will Rittenhouse, and today I will be doing my presentation for Music 101 on Georg Telemann in the Baroque era. So, for my thesis statement, here it is. Georg Philipp Telemann was a very important composer and multi-instrumentalist during the Baroque era. And there's a picture of him, mainly the main picture people use about him. So, for a little bit of background, first of all, his family was really, first of all, against the idea of Telemann actually becoming a composer. They really wanted him to take a more noble career, such as maybe law, and actually he decided to agree with them and start college in law, and he wanted to study law. He didn't actually want to study it, he just wanted to go with his parents, which he did and initially, but he actually decided later that he was going to go against his parents and pursue what he really wanted, which was a music-centric career. Another thing that about him that is that he actually held a lot of positions in a lot of different places, mostly around Germany, but and even in a lot of regions. But he actually finally settled down in Hamburg in Germany, Hamburg in Germany. And really, he had two wives. The first of which died 2 years into their marriage due to health problems, and she just had lots of different problems with her, and it was only 2 years in the marriage when she died. And the other was actually the other was actually very unfaithful to him, and had lots of affairs and had a gambling addiction, and she just actually eventually left him. So, which is kind of depressing, but. Now, for influence, he was a very influential composer. Telemann was intensely influential, and his work, and he was even regarded as one of, if not the most, or the leading German composers at the time in the Baroque era. These contemporaries, he was regarded by his contemporaries, and these contemporaries included Handel and Bach, two gigantic names, and they were actually Telemann's friends who knew him personally. Like they knew him very, very personally. In his lifetime, Telemann actually was able to create around 2,900 to 3,000 compositions, which is crazy. Although half of them are actually weren't able to be recovered. And he composed over 1,000 cantatas. Many people, notably music theorists, famous music theorists as well, cited his pieces as examples of what music can look like. He was very the top of the tier, what people strive to be like, and these people mainly consisted, again, of Bach and Handel, who were just gigantic at this time, and they regarded these pieces by Telemann as the works by him as quality pieces. Another thing is that Telemann actually was very notable for his influence in the late Baroque era and even early classical era music. He used style from like German, Italian, and even some Polish pieces that he knew and wanted to use in his, make it more unique, and really to push the envelope in, in history and what he's doing and what he's trying to do. And that was really influential for a lot of people, and even now, in the 20th century, a lot of these pieces are being, they're being played again. They're being played so that people can hear them yet again. But before that, before the 20th century, a lot of these pieces weren't ever heard again since like 1750, until 20th century. Then these are being played again. So even influential still now after all this time. So the Sinfonia and Violin Sonata. These are two pieces I'm gonna let you hear that were very influential by Telemann, and they're very famous. So I will let you hear these. This piece actually is very, you'll see, you'll see. So that's the first piece. That is Symphonia, uh, and that wasn't actually by him. That was uh, rearranged by Bob Matthews. And here's the other piece. This is this violin sonata or violin piece. And you can hear the pieces that he knew many pieces that he knew how to play, like, or many instruments that he knew how to play, like, um, in this. And there's a little of that. Okay, now, here are my sources that I generally use. I use some more than others. Like Bandcamp, I use that a lot to make my decisions for what I wanted to show you guys. Show or in terms of music, the Baroque music, that was more of the background, mainly who he like who he was, what did he do. And then I also use Britannica for his family, his wives, his family in general, his children. Philharmonia was a lot of his influential pieces and what he was known for doing, uh, doing and like knowing what he was influential for and what he did in his career. Naxos mostly for people like that he knew, like I mentioned, Bach and Handel, two of his very uh, good friends and contemporaries and peers. And finally, I used PC MS concerts to, again, that was for music. So yes, and this is the end. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and thank you again. So that is it for Teleman, and I hope you have a good one. Goodbye.